Welcome, folks. Today we are here and gathered together to honor the career of Federico Chiesa at Juventus because we unfortunately have received his obituary from Thiago Motta by courtesy of Giovanni Albanese, who has unfortunately said that his time with Juve is over. But on that note, guys, I'm going to completely, flip the script, make it a little bit funny now. Welcome to this very special 10-minute feature where we kind of had to cover it. And us here are going to officially bury Mr. Chiesa from topics of discussion unless anything crazy major happens. But we wanted to talk about this and kind of illustrate the steps that led to this very moment, which is hands down responsible of one individual alone and maybe his agent. But here with me is two old men that are sick and tired of yelling about this, right? Am I the third?
No, you are the yes.
No,
it's
you are the guy that still has the energy. I already burnt out.
You had to ask that question. You're the worst.
Dude, he wants to turn
Heel turn.
to turn it.
Heel turn.
Oh
I did
God.
a heel turn. I see what I see. I did a thing. I did a thing. I did a thing. I did a thing. Heel turn. But here's the article or the
He came
tweet.
back as Hollywood Dash.
I know. I came back. Essentially, I'm starting the NWO. So let's dive into this. So Thiago Motta and Chiesa here. So they met for the first time today. Essentially, Motta kind of came and told him, he's like, dude, I don't have any plans for you. You need to go find another team, which generally is not a good thing because it looks like Motta is dead set on that. And unfortunately for him, it's more so kind of on Chiesa himself that's caused this situation. Comments that he's made, the way that he's acted, the way that he's performed as well, just it doesn't help because when you look at some of the receipts that are going on since, for months, right? Where you listen to this, and this honestly started, and I'll also bring this up here. A lot of this shithousery started back in December of last season, right? And this was ironically when Juve was on their unbeaten run, when they were cooking quite well, actually, where they were overperforming. The only denominator or the missing factor in this domination, per se, was this guy was not here. He was injured for a good majority of that stint here. So,
And that was when Yildiz took over and showed how a winger can contribute to create for Vlahovic.
Exactly. So this was where you kind of started seeing, I would say it was the beginning of the end here, but more so here was some of the comments was that I found that was kind of interesting here, right? So obviously he struggled to show his best under Allegri's pragmatic system, which ironically Thiago Motta does a pragmatic system as well here. But the comment that I found interesting here was Juve at the time was thinking of giving him a 1-year renewal, right? A bridge contract. But one of the things that held Chiesa off was wanting to understand the future of the project of the club and being unsure about moving forward with Allegri.
He didn't like Allegri. That was basically what was coming out of that.
And that's where I think was the first stepping stone that what put him in the ground, right? Because, for example, when you're not performing, when you're not doing well, you can't say stuff like that. And this is one article. This was going all over the place with multiple articles saying he wants a coach that plays a 4-3-3. He wants a coach that does this, and this. But you can't say that. And go ahead, German Dave.
My problem at that point was already that how in the hell do you take a career decision and the hope of your club getting another coach? Like, instead of taking charge of it for yourself, playing the position that your coach right now wants you to play. Like, how about betting on yourself and trying to actually perform instead of preying on other guy's downfall, which ironically karma came back to bite him.
Yep, and then it continues on. So this was a tweet that was made back, I want to say, it was April. So this next article was in April as well as the tweet. So I'll kind of talk about this here on the tweet. So this was Romeo Agresti on the tweet during It's the Rid the Rock on Juventus by saying him, and I quote, saying here, "I've asked Max several times about the trident, but he doesn't see it. It's a regret. I am convinced that if Chiesa remains with a new coach, the first thing he will do is have Chiesa and Yildiz play together," which unfortunately this did not age well, because the new coach came in and the new coach said, "I don't want you."
And
But
also, it didn't matter at all because the trident was never a viable tactic for their team. Because if
no,
you do that, you have to sacrifice either a midfielder or a defender. And we aren't good at either if we have to sacrifice players. Look how bad our midfield already was, and now imagine taking one of them out. So the trident was never an option that would work for the team like it was constructed.
and even if Max were to remain, it wouldn't have worked. The only way that it would have worked is with the players that you add now, and then also to even fuel
Yeah.
more thing to the fire here. So the big thing here was this, and again, this was in April as well. Juve are willing to figure out a way to extend his contract, but talks with the striker's agent have not entered the final stage. So Juve, aware of the contract situation, does what Juve should do, right? Protect their assets. Protect, hey, let's not lose this out on a free. So that's when you started getting the potential swap deals. And this is with Xerxes, which kind of was hinting to Thiago Motta as well, becoming Juve's next coach. But which I found interesting here. So we go on to May, and towards the end of May, and this is when Thiago Motta is unofficially but officially announced as a new coach. But there was a journalist that was saying this even before Motta said it himself. I don't see him as value to the project. The journalist, I believe here was Giovanni Capiano, says that even in Thiago Motta's system, he'll struggle to find a perfect role for the attacker. Because again, what was the thing that all of us were seeing throughout the season? 4-3-3, 4-3-3. He needs to play as a winger. He needs to play as a winger. 4-3-3, 4-3-3. Giovanni saying, hey, still not going to work for him, because he doesn't have certain traits that you would need in that system, in a pragmatic 4-3-3 that Thiago Motta is going to play, or a 4-2-3-1. And again, people were losing their mind and yada, yada, yada. And no, people don't know what they're talking about. This is blah, 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 blah. This is baloney. Juve don't know what they're doing. Thiago Motta's an idiot if he doesn't want Chiesa. And then fast forward and a couple weeks ago, and what was one of the first things that Thiago Motta illustrated when he came to Juve? Chiesa, out of project. Done.
And hard work, which is completely contrary to what Chiesa does on the field, at least. Like, do you have those quotes ready? With Motta wants his wingers to contribute defensively as well, and Chiesa is not a defensive contributing winger at all.
No, he's not. It's very, very poor as far as his defensive capabilities, unless you want to use that one mythical game against Ukraine as the end all be all for him, where he shows some defensive stability. But it wasn't meant to be. And it's just, he's not the multiplayer, because if we look at these numbers here that I have on FREF as well, defensively, he's mediocre. 62 percentile, 58th percentile, 51st percentile on blocks, clearances, aerials 1. It's not his thing. And then when we look at this up here as well, non-penalty goals, 43rd percentile. His XG, 8th. Non-penalty goals. Absolutely not a great goal scorer at all when you look at his numbers. So one of the issues that I always found at the time was Chiesa was demanding a higher salary, where it's like, you're not a goal-scoring winger. I'm sorry, but
it's not well-rounded enough. You can see by the peaks and the valleys.
He's not even and also he's not even an assisting winger, because he had only 2 and over 30 appearances.
Look at his assists, 33rd percentile. He just takes shots. I mean, his shot creating actions are really good. His shots total numbers are really good. Progressive carries, because he just runs forward. Successful take-ons, again, because he runs forward. This is where I find it very ironic as a winger, where you have great carries, great take-ons, but when you look at the product, it's terrible.
Yeah, but that also explains. Look, how many times do people that simp over him mention the fact, oh, he had so many successful dribble in this and that game. But that is literally the only thing that they say positive about his game. It's always he had this many successful dribbles in this game. Yeah, but that's not. If you have a successful dribble, but it doesn't have an outcome, it doesn't have an assist, a pre-assist, a goal or whatever, then what does that dribble give you? Nothing.
It's just a baseless stat.
And that's the problem.
All right, but
just like his salary demands.
it is, and it's unfortunate. And also, I just kind of want to illustrate this for like about 60 seconds here. When you have a stat line where it's 3-2, 6-4, 6-3, 10-6, 1-1, 8-8, 2-2, 2-5, 9-2, you can't demand 8 to 9 million net a season. That to me is middle of the road statistics.
Yep.
Well, we know he's out of the project at this point. No sell-ons. Management's off in London right now trying to find a buyer. We'll see what happens. He's not with the team in any case.
We'll see what happens. But anyways, one of the major. Go ahead.
It's just to conclude it. Also, it's dumb managing from his side. I don't want to go too harsh anymore on him. But if you take these risks, betting on a coach getting fired, doing those contract demands with 1 year of contract left, that is mismanagement, man.
It is.
Look, imagine he would have gotten his contract renewal 1 year or 1+1 or whatever. He wouldn't be in this situation because we would have tried him out even more. But with 1 year left, there is not time to try anything out. If you try him and then you find out, baby, it doesn't work, it's too late. You can't sell him anymore. And that is why also the club is in a situation where we are forced to sell him. Even if he would have the slightest fit in the system, the club is obliged to cash in because they are in that situation now.
And I think, folks, we fell in love with him from the Euro because if you look at it even deeper, his non-expected goals or his expected goals numbers were always below par. I mean, some seasons he overperformed it, some seasons he underperformed it, but 7, 8, 12, 1, 6, 2, 1.5, and 6.5.
Let's put a moratorium on this one then, because I think we're all done with this one.
It's it.
Absolutely.
Just bring it to light, guys. Unfortunately, he wasn't the guy that we all wanted him to be. He's done. They want him out. We get money. We bring in something new, and I think we close the chapter on this book. And
and I don't
Chiesa,
think even
that's it.
if he's actually gone, I don't even think we will follow up with something because with this one it is buried.
I think it's buried. It's done and dusted. But anyways, folks, Todibo is getting close. We will make a video breaking down Todibo as well as the stat line that has been going around Twitter, which we'll have some fun with that. So once that deal closes, we'll be back here again to do a full breakdown on where he fits, how he fits, and what's he going to do when he comes to Juve. But on that note, guys, make sure you like. If you're new here, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.